Elisa Lam was a young woman. She was 21 years old. Lam was a Canadian student. She embarked on a journey. She wanted to see the Western United States. It was January 2013. Her trip began with promise. She documented her adventures. She shared her experiences online. Lam was eager to explore. She was full of life. Lam's travels took her to Los Angeles, California. She arrived on January 26th. This bustling metropolis held the promise of adventure. It also held hidden dangers. Lam checked into the Cecil Hotel. It was located in downtown Los Angeles. The hotel had a notorious past. It was shrouded in unsettling stories. This marked a turning point in Lam's journey. It was a turn towards the unknown. Her story, once filled with the vibrancy of youth, began to take on a darker tone. The Cecil Hotel, with its shadowy history, would soon become the backdrop for a tragedy. It would become an enduring mystery. The Cecil Hotel stood tall in downtown Los Angeles, a towering structure that once symbolized the promise and allure of the city. It was more than just a place to stay. It was a beacon of luxury and sophistication, attracting visitors from all walks of life. However, beneath its glamorous facade, the Cecil Hotel harbored a haunting past that would eventually overshadow its initial grandeur. Built in the 1920s, the Cecil Hotel was once a place of elegance, boasting opulent interiors and state-of-the-art amenities for its time. But as the decades passed, the hotel fell into disrepair, its once luxurious halls now echoing with the whispers of a bygone era. The Cecil Hotel had become a haven for transients, a stark contrast to its former glory. It was a place where the lost and the desperate sought refuge. The hotel attracted a troubled clientele, individuals grappling with their own demons, adding to the building's already dark atmosphere. Over the decades, the Cecil Hotel was linked to numerous dark incidents. There were unexplained deaths, mysterious disappearances, and tales of terror that seemed almost too grim to be true. The hotel's grim history earned it a sinister reputation, a place where the line between reality and nightmare often blurred. It became a subject of morbid fascination, drawing the curious and the brave who wanted to uncover its secrets. One notorious case involved serial killer Richard Ramirez, whose presence at the hotel only added to its infamy. He was known as the Night Stalker, a name that struck fear into the hearts of Los Angeles residents during his reign of terror. Ramirez stayed at the Cecil Hotel in the 1980s, using it as a base during his horrific crime spree. During his reign of terror in Los Angeles, the hotel became a silent witness to his unspeakable acts. Another infamous resident was Austrian serial killer Jack Unterweger, who was also drawn to the hotel's dark aura. Unterweger's presence at the Cecil only deepened its association with death and despair. The Cecil Hotel was a place where shadows lingered, where the past seemed to cling to every corner and corridor. It was a place where tragedy seemed to follow, a magnet for misfortune and sorrow. It was in this unsettling environment that Elisa Lam, a young woman with a thirst for life and adventure, would vanish under mysterious circumstances. Her disappearance would add another chilling chapter to the hotel's macabre chronicle, a story that continues to haunt and intrigue to this day. Elisa Lam's early days in Los Angeles seemed uneventful. She explored the city with a sense of wonder and excitement. She visited landmarks like the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Griffith Observatory, capturing the essence of the city through her eyes. The bustling streets and iconic sights were a stark contrast to her quiet life back home. She made sure to stay connected with friends and family back home, often video chatting with them to share her experiences. These calls were filled with laughter and stories, bridging the distance between her and her loved ones. Lam was also very active on social media. She frequently updated her Instagram feed, sharing her thoughts and moments from her journey. Her posts were a mix of excitement and introspection, reflecting her adventurous spirit and her inner thoughts. She shared glimpses of her adventures, from selfies in front of famous landmarks to candid shots of the city's vibrant life. Her followers enjoyed these updates, living vicariously through her travels. However, as the days passed, Lam's online presence began to dwindle. Her once frequent updates ceased, leaving her followers and family in a state of worry. The silence was deafening, and her family grew increasingly concerned with each passing day. They last heard from her on January 31st, 2013. That date became etched in their minds, a haunting reminder of the last time they had any contact with her. Lam was supposed to check out of the Cecil Hotel on that day. The hotel, known for its checkered past, was her temporary home during her stay in Los Angeles. She had plans to travel to Santa Cruz next, a trip she was eagerly anticipating, but she never arrived. Her failure to show up turned her family's concern into alarm. Desperate for answers, Lam's family contacted the Los Angeles Police Department. They reported her missing, and detectives quickly began their investigation, trying to piece together her last known movements. The investigation focused on the Cecil Hotel, the last place she was seen. The hotel's eerie reputation only added to the mystery surrounding her disappearance. It was the last known location of the vanished student. Investigators combed through the hotel, searching for any clues that might lead them to her. The hotel's staff provided limited information, stating that Lam had been behaving strangely in the days leading up to her disappearance. Their accounts were vague, offering little insight into what might have happened. CCTV footage from the hotel showed Lam acting erratically, adding another layer of complexity to the case. Her unusual behavior puzzled both the investigators and her family. The mystery deepened with each passing day. The search for Elisa Lam intensified. Missing person posters were plastered around the city, and search teams scoured the area, hoping to find any trace of her. A young woman's life hung in the balance. Her family and friends held candlelight vigils, praying for her safe return. The community rallied around them, offering support and hope. The Cecil Hotel, with its history of darkness and tragedy, seemed to have swallowed her whole. The building's ominous presence loomed over the investigation, casting a shadow over the search for Elisa Lam. As the investigation into Elisa Lam's disappearance progressed, investigators uncovered a crucial piece of evidence. It was a surveillance video. The video was from one of the Cecil Hotel's elevators. It captured Lam's last known moments. The footage was both baffling and unsettling. It showed Lam entering the elevator alone. She was behaving strangely. She appeared agitated. Lam repeatedly pressed the elevator buttons. The doors refused to close. She peered out into the hallway. She seemed to be talking to someone. No one was there. Lam's behavior in the video was erratic. She moved in and out of the elevator. She gestured with her hands. She seemed to be hiding. Her movements were those of someone who was frightened. They were also the movements of someone who was deeply disturbed. The elevator footage quickly went viral. It fueled speculation. Amateur sleuths analyzed every frame. They searched for clues. The footage was eerie. It was open to interpretation. It deepened the mystery surrounding Lam's disappearance. Section 5. Whispers in the Water. The Discovery. The search for Elisa Lam continued for weeks. The police, along with volunteers, scoured every corner of the city, hoping to find any clue that could lead them to her whereabouts. The search was relentless, with teams working day and night driven by the hope of finding her alive. The case gripped the city of Los Angeles. It garnered international attention. News outlets from around the world covered the story, and social media buzzed with theories and speculations. Everyone wanted to know what had happened to Elisa Lam. The mystery deepened with each passing day. As time went on, the lack of new information only fueled the public's curiosity and concern. The days turned into weeks, and still, there were no answers. Then, on February 19th, a gruesome discovery brought the search to a tragic end. The date would be forever etched in the memories of those who followed the case. Guests at the Cecil Hotel complained they had been experiencing issues with the water for days. Some reported that the water pressure was unusually low, making it difficult to shower or even wash their hands properly. They reported problems with the water pressure. The complaints were numerous, and the hotel management knew they had to address the issue quickly. Some mentioned a strange taste. Guests described the water as having an odd, unpleasant flavor, which only added to their concerns. Maintenance workers went to investigate. They checked the plumbing and the water tanks, trying to identify the source of the problem. They made a horrifying discovery. Inside one of the water tanks, they found the lifeless body of Elisa Lam. Elisa Lam's body was found. The news spread quickly, and the hotel was soon swarming with police and media. It was inside one of the hotel's water tanks. The tanks were large and difficult to access, making the discovery even more perplexing. The tank was located on the roof. This raised immediate questions about how she had ended up there. The discovery sent shockwaves through the city. People were horrified and saddened by the tragic turn of events. It raised more questions than answers. How had Elisa Lam managed to get into the water tank? What had happened to her in the days leading up to her death? How did Lam's body end up in a sealed water tank? The tanks were supposed to be secure, and it seemed impossible for someone to get inside without assistance. How did she even get onto the roof? The roof was locked, access was restricted, and only certain staff members had the keys. It was only accessible to staff. This led to further speculation about whether someone had helped her, or if there was foul play involved. The discovery of Lam's body shifted the investigation. The focus was no longer on finding a missing person, but on understanding the circumstances of her death. It was no longer a missing person case. The police had to consider the possibility of a crime. It was now a death investigation. Forensic teams were brought in to examine the scene and gather evidence. The circumstances surrounding her death were both bizarre and disturbing. The more details that emerged, the more questions arose. The Cecil Hotel, already notorious for its dark past, had yielded another tragic secret. The building's history of violence and mystery only added to the eerie atmosphere surrounding the case. As the investigation deepened, the shadows seemed to grow longer. Every corner of the hotel held a secret, every hallway whispered a story. The search for answers was relentless, but clarity remained elusive. The case took a turn from the plausible to the paranormal. Unsettling theories began to surface, each more bizarre than the last. Was there something otherworldly at play, or were these just desperate attempts to explain the inexplicable? For some, Elisa Lam's death was a tragic accident, a heartbreaking end to a young life. But for others, the pieces of the puzzle just didn't fit. Was it truly a tragedy but not a mystery? The debate raged on. Years have passed, yet Elisa Lam's case endures. It continues to captivate, to puzzle, and to haunt. Her story is a reminder of the thin line between the known and the unknown, and the enduring quest for truth.